If the bicycle spokes on your butthole aren't so inflamed that you stop wiping because it's more red than brown, chances are you're not eating enough. If you don't need the tight little angel kisses on your inflamed little butthole every time that you go poopy because you've already written paper in blood 3 or 4 times today, chances are you're not eating enough. You see, food is very indicative of how you're about to recover. If you are eating a lot of junk foods, you have to dispel a lot of junk. But that being said, you need to eat a lot in order to gain weight. A lot of people struggle to gain weight. Well, what are they doing? Well, they're not eating enough. They're not eating after they're full. They're eating until they're full. If you want to gain a lot of weight, if you want to put on muscle mass, you have to fuel your body. You have to provide it with enough sustenance, enough nutrients for it to grow. But that's not going to be like cake. It's not going to be cookies. It's not going to be brownies, cinnamon rolls, or stepsister. It's going to be steak. It's going to be ground beef. It's going to be rice. These calorie-dense foods are going to be what is going to help you grow. Calorie-dense foods will help you grow. That is true. You can eat 2,000 calories in monkey bread, but that's all going to be carbs and fats. You need to provide your body with the sustenance that it needs to grow. That's going to be protein. You need a balanced diet. You need macros at a sufficient level. If you're not eating a gram of protein per kilogram of body weight, a gram of protein per pound of body weight, somewhere in between that ratio, you're not going to be providing your body with enough sustenance. But what you're eating is going to help you gain weight, but not the right type of weight. You're going to get chonky. You're going to get fat. Trust me, I know. I used to eat a whole pizza and half a stick of cookie dough for dinner every night. I got fat. I'm still fat, but like calorically dense foods like cinnamon rolls, like cake, like pie, like cheesecake, stuff like that. Things that are all carbs, all fat, very little protein are not going to be conducive to gaining the right type of weight because your body has a waste system. If you're eating trash foods, you expel more trash. If it is not beneficial to your body, it will do 2 things. It will it will increase in size by storing the energy. The body is not the way that humans developed through evolution or whatever you ascribe to was survival, because survival is the most important thing to any sort of body, any sort of organism on the face of the planet. And one of the leading factors of extinction, of lack of community growth, with the inability to grow one's lineage, is a lack of food. You get rid of a food source for an organism and their population will decline. So if you are providing extra nutrition, extra sustenance, extra food for an organism, their population is going to expand. But humans are different because you're ugly and you're not going to get laid, so you're not going to increase the population. So to prevent the dying out of a population by lack of food, an organism will store food in the form of fat tissue. If you eat calorically dense foods that are just carbs and fat, you're not going to grow in the right way. Our ancestors would go hunting. They would get deer. They would get rabbits. They would have a vast variety of foods going into their body. Those meats, those beans, those vegetables, those healthy things have protein in them. If you are expressing yourself as a hunter, your body will reward you for your efforts. It will, if you eat the right types of foods, it's going to reward you positively by allowing you to get more of that beneficial food. That deer, it's going to provide you with extra muscle tissue in order to get better foods. The more successful you are as a hunter, the better it's going to end up being. So you need more muscle mass to be a better hunter. You don't need fat. Fat is just what happens when you eat foods that are there but don't really provide much. You eat a lot of that stuff, you're not going to die, but you're also not going to really thrive. You're going to gain weight, you're going to gain storage of energy, but if you're not using that energy, you're not going to be progressing. So if you're eating a lot of those calorically dense foods that provide energy but not using the energy, you gain weight, and it's not good weight. You need the protein and the stimuli of hunting. But as a society now, we don't go hunting. We go to the grocery store and we pick foods up. So we need to stimulate our bodies in different ways. And that would be by strength training. You strength train, you eat protein. That is a simulated hunt. You gain muscle mass. You consume calorically dense foods. carbs and fats that provide energy, that means that you failed the hunt. And your body is saying, okay, we need to tucker down. We need to make sure that we don't die because we didn't kill what we need to kill in order to eat. So let's store a lot of this energy. If we don't have excess energy, let's store this energy in the body and store the fat. So you need to simulate your own hunts. You need to go weight train. To get back onto the subject of proper food consumption, the more you eat, you're going to be eating a lot of not calorically dense foods, but protein dense foods that have a lot of volume, a lot of beef, chicken, beans, things like that will go into your system, and whatever excess stuff in there that your body does not necessarily need right here and now, that it's not going to store for later. It's not carbs, it's not fats, it's fiber. The fibers, the things that won't really give you sustenance. If you eat a Lego, you poop a Lego. So if you're eating enough to grow, the amount of waste that you consume also grows. So if you're not eating enough, you're not pooping enough. But if you are eating enough, you poop a lot. But we got these things called butt cheeks. They're kind of messy. So you got to clean that shit up, literally. And our buttholes were not made for high velocity, high amounts of friction. Our bicycle spokes get irritated. We bleed we get white burn because we've been eating a lot, but that's not bad. You ever notice that when you eat, you can eat 6,000 calories clean and you can eat 6,000 calories not clean. You're eating more, eating clean, you end up pooping more. But you only poop like once a day if you're not eating right. Basically, what I'm saying is poop is important. And the consistency of your fecal matter also matters. If it's very liquid, that you don't get a lot of insights as to what's going on inside your body. Before medicine and blood tests and everything like that came out, your insides were kind of like a mystery. And the only way that you could like look inside to the processes going on inside of you is to look at what comes out of you. If your fecal consistency is not indicative of a healthy diet of a healthy person, that is negative. And the reason that you end up expelling weird fecal matter when you get sick is because that's your body telling you, I'm sick, I need help. A lot of doctors, when they don't know what the symptoms for a illness is going to be, look for one of two things: expelling food matter out of the oral orifice or the anal orifice. If it's not coming out of either side, then you can't really tell. But once the symptoms end up like lining up, okay, here's what we should be looking for, then they're going to be able to properly assess what's going on. But fecal matter is a very important metric to be keeping track of. If you feel healthy but you poop liquid, there's something wrong going on there. If you are eating healthy and you are drinking healthy and your fecal matter still comes out like pebbles, dry, cracked, there is something going on inside of you. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you what that is. Just know that there's something not quite right. You can be stressed. Your body does not respond well to stress. If you are stressed all the time, stress used to be an indicator that you are in mortal danger, in peril, that your body is about to undergo a surprising change in form. I mean, you could lose an arm because you're running away from a predator. But we're in a society where we are stressed about other things. Since we have alleviated the need for hunting, for the most part, the need to gather our own food, for the most part, the stressors of our lives are not as mortally peril that they used to be back when we were in our primal phase. So our body responds to stress the way that it would have back then. Your body is under a lot of stress. You need to de-stress. Diarrhea. You are sick. Diarrhea. The consistency of your fecal matter is very important as to what's going on inside of your body. Now we can get blood tests and everything. So, precursor, you have an upset stomach, you have inconsistent fecal matter, you should go to the doctor, see what's going on. You can catch things real early that way. You're overly stressed, you know that you've got this big presentation coming up, you've got a big meeting coming up, you got a big meet coming up, you start expelling fecal matter inconsistently, it's hard, it's soft, it's 3 times a day, 4 times a day, once a day, gets inconsistent, you know that your body is stressing over a fear of something. It could be a predator, but in our society, the predators are different. The predators are bosses. The predators are big meetings, big events, big stimulating things. So it's important to track how your fecal matter is going. It is an indicator of your health. It is one of the better indicators of your health outside of how you feel, because you can get stressed to the point where you get sick, but you've been fecally inconsistent up to that point. Poop is important, and it can be a great indicator of your biological functions going on inside of your body. And it can also indicate whether or not you are eating enough. To get big, you gotta eat big. So grab the baby wipes and open your throat because it's bulky.